Friday period 4 was the worst, and I struggled to keep my students in their chairs and engaged in the lesson. This was negatively impacting on the learning of students who were excited by the content. And as my supervising teacher was the head of department, I knew I had to fix things quickly if I was to have any chance of landing a permanent position within the school. Thankfully, back in June, a friend of mine invited me to accompany her to a professional development day at Australian Catholic University. Pre-service teachers were allowed to drop in and ask Teach Queensland about working in state schools. One of the officials there had taught for over 30 years and said the best piece of advice he could give in the pursuit of improving student behaviour was to adopt assessment for learning strategies, a structured, systematic and effective methodology for teaching academic skills. Explicit instruction is heavily incorporated within this framework, which worked well as my school already provided a unique 5-pronged approach to learning from a student-centered perspective. Reflecting on that day, I decided to try and use assessment for learning strategies to positively guide my classes through the learning process by providing clear statements about the purpose and foundation for learning new skills. One of the class's assessment items required them to compare 2 texts. I decided to deliver my class with clear explanations and demonstrations of the learning goals and support practice with feedback so that each student wanted to achieve the set success criteria of the lesson. I took this one step further during their drafting, where the students were not allowed to leave the classroom until they had submitted their introduction. The following lesson I did the same for the first body paragraph and so on. By the end of the week, every student had submitted a draft. While this was a time-costly routine, it allowed me to break down my drafting and feedback for them into smaller sections and allowed the students to develop a clear understanding of the structure of the essay. Overall, I believe this effective classroom strategy resulted in the entire class improving their writing ability. One of my proudest moments as a teacher was with a student we'll call Ethan. I coached him in touch football, and the way I used curriculum assessment knowledge to design learning sequences and lesson plans sparked his competitive nature. When I popped his assessment item on my supervising teacher's desk, she assumed that a high-achieving student had gone above and beyond. When I mentioned it was Ethan's assessment, she almost fell off her chair, because he usually struggled to pass any of his assessment items. The craziest part was I hardly scaffolded any of his work. Most of the lessons he sat quietly working independently. Just by increasing the sense of urgency and presenting students' learning intentions and success criteria in a way that adopted the disciplinary knowledge, skills, and understanding alongside general capabilities and cross-curriculum priorities, the whole class was thriving. I've decided I will use assessment for learning strategies in the future to keep my students focused on achieving the best possible outcomes for their learning. I hope you have enjoyed hearing about some of my experiences at Prac and university. These light bulb moments have improved my confidence as an English teacher and have steered me on a journey of improving the learning outcomes for each and every one of my students. Thank you.